Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, December 8, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar at the bottom of the video to skip to the point in the video that you want to see the most. And you can also utilize the timestamps in the comment section as well as the video description. There's no reason for you to stay around and watch the entire 30 to 50 minute video. If you have things to do, just skip to the points that you want to see the most. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your year recently. Also feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us get some expert insights from Ben Noel. If you don't know by now, he's actually a meteorologist reporting for the Washington Post. And from time to time, he makes some very accurate posts about the Atlantic hurricane season. If you remember, last year he made a post 1 month in advance about what would happen regarding Beryl, and that definitely came to fruition. Now, he made a post highlighting what's expected next year in terms of Enzo, that's the El Nino Southern Oscillation. So he stated here, and keep in mind that this was posted at 9:26 a.m. on December 7. He stated, new ECMWF seasonal guidance shows a La Nina-like pattern fading and giving way to warmer than average conditions in the Eastern Pacific by May 2025. Something to watch with regard to a potential El Nino next year. And meanwhile, the Atlantic continues to show very warm tendencies. And we can see what he's highlighting here. Basically, we have the Atlantic over here, the very warm sea surface temperatures. We have the timestamp right here, January all the way to May 2025. And he's highlighting this part of the world right here, the eastern to the central Pacific Ocean. And we see that by the time we head into May, April, May, the waters of the Eastern Pacific are definitely warming up, getting more oranges down there. So it's definitely maybe giving us the inkling that an El Nino could be coming. And we know El Nino is basically when we have warmer than average sea surface temperatures across that area of the world, and thus causing more thunderstorms, becoming tropical storms, hurricanes, and then we have a lot of wind shear across the Caribbean, tearing the tops of these thunderstorms off. But he also highlighted that this could clash with the very warm sea surface temperatures still across the Atlantic. So that begs the question, could we have another season like the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season? That was an El Nino year, but we also had very warm sea surface temperatures. If you remember, this was what we had in terms of all of the systems. And we see that most of the systems are definitely confined to the open waters of the Atlantic right there. Not much land interaction. One right here pushing to the north into Hispaniola. Another one right here coming into the Florida Panhandle. Nothing serious across the western portions of the basin at all. So let's hope that we get something like that. Excuse me, for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. We don't want any more La Ninas, any more neutral conditions bring us any storms at all. So we're going to be looking at the next 7 days in terms of what the Euro as well as the GFS model are showing in terms of the moisture across the Caribbean. So keep your eyes focused at the timestamp here at the top. Keep your eyes focused right here across the Caribbean. We have Jamaica right here just for reference. And keep your eyes peeled for this that we see on the key on the right. The reds, the oranges, the yellows. The greens represents moisture, rainfall from inches. Well, in inches, from 1 all the way up to maybe 20. Let us see exactly what unfolds as we head through the next 168 hours. So as we head into Sunday, well, as we head into Monday, we see that the rainfall is definitely starting to wrap up for sure, getting in on more white than anything else, which means little to no rainfall at all. Tuesday, something similar. Wednesday, something similar. We see the moisture associated with that other cold front coming into the Bahamas, a portion of Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and Central America. but it doesn't seem like it's going to be making it as far as Jamaica. We see that as soon as it makes it closer to the eastern portions of the Cayman Islands, it starts to push back towards the west. And then we see that as we head into Saturday, we're starting to get in on more of a northeasterly flow, bringing back the same pattern that we've been experiencing with the northeasterly flow across the northern portion of the island. Again, this weekend, to look for some dry conditions this week for sure, Monday to Friday. But as we head into Saturday as well as Sunday, this weather pattern that we've been getting all week with northeastern parishes, Portland, St. Mary, and St. Anne, should definitely return. And we see that even the GFS model is in consensus with this. We see the whites, little to no rainfall on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something similar, Thursday, Friday, and then we see that as we head into Saturday, even more so of that flow from the north. We see the isobars, and we're going to be stopping it right there for Sunday, December 15. And look at that, we also see a lot of moisture right there to the north of Hispaniola, and we see something right here to the north of Hispaniola, some isobars, some circles. Who knows, maybe something is trying to get this act together up there. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what unfolds. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 7 days, we see that the most in the way for rainfall should be right here across Belize, Guatemala, northern Honduras. We see a lot of dark reds into the purples, pinks, peach colors. Lots of flash flooding could definitely take place also for sections of Panama, Costa Rica, eastern Nicaragua, the waters to the east of the Caribbean. Lots of moisture out there as well. And we see that we still have some dots of rainfall to receive, some heavy rainfall at that across northern Haiti, eastern Cuba, and even tonight for northeastern Jamaica, as well as next Saturday and Sunday. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast right there for northeastern Jamaica, eastern Cuba, northern Haiti, as well as portion of Central America. And if we take a closer look at Jamaica, we see the rainfall that's expected. Most of this rainfall that we see here is expected tonight on the Euro, as well as next Saturday and Sunday. So I don't think that it's going to be a wet week for northeastern Jamaica. And we see the GFS showing something similar. The most in the rainfall should be across the northeast, and we're talking about tonight as well as next weekend, not necessarily this week at all. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a ridge of high pressure right here, another one right here to the northwest of Africa, that we know are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. You can see broken orange lines right here to the south of Puerto Rico associated with a trough, and we see a blue spike line right here associated with a cold front right there to the north of the eastern Caribbean, stretching all the way up into the northern section of North Atlantic. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. We can see the clouds associated with the trough to the south of Puerto Rico. We can see the clouds associated excuse me, with that frontal system stretching all the way down to the north of the eastern Caribbean right there. And we can even see the flow of the low level clouds pushing in from east to west across the main development region into the Caribbean. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, December 8, 2024. It was stated that more rain and windy conditions were in the forecast of parts of northern Jamaica last night into Sunday morning, also affecting sections of some southern parishes during the afternoon. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While southern parishes, and we're talking about St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Klein, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and Westmoreland. And what ended up happening? As early as 10:11 a.m., the visible satellite images were posted here on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page with the Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page with the .Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can definitely see the flow of the clouds pushing in from the northeast, and definitely bring that relief rainfall. We see all of the clouds piling up across northern Jamaica where the hills are. We're talking about Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, maybe even spilling into section of Trelawney as well. And some of this activity might have been spilling into section of some southern parishes, especially in the northern portions of some southern parishes too. And then we saw that during the afternoon, the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel was showing that we're receiving somewhat of light to moderate rainfall across halfway tree at around 2:26 p.m. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just subscribe to See Jamaica. They have these live streams up and running all day, every day, showing the Kingston Harbor, Flat Bridge, halfway tree crossroads, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. Finally, a post was made at around 5:35 p.m. highlighting the rainfall that was being experienced across sections of not only central and western parishes but even eastern Jamaica as well. We definitely saw what was taking place for sure. And then we saw or we can see on the visible satellite images the clouds that were bringing the rainfall, especially to sections of Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, sections of St. Anne, Clarendon got some of the action. Not much across Westmoreland today at all, but we definitely got it across mainly eastern and central Jamaica. And we see that the infrared satellite image is not showing much in the way of high cold cloud tops or thunderstorm activity. But we know some of these milky whitish clouds pushing in from the east-northeast could definitely pack a punch with some of the rainfall that could currently still be affecting a portion of the island. And if we take a look at around 2:44 p.m. on the halfway tree cam, the rainfall definitely got even more intense. Heavy rain for sure, people walking with their umbrella. Excuse me. We can see windshield wipers on for sure. We definitely got some decent rainfall across the corporate area, just as predicted. And we see even the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, confirming the rainfall that was received. We see all of the rainfall, especially in the north coast, as well as section of Kingston, St. Catherine, section of Clarendon as well. And we even had some comments on our YouTube platform confirming the rainfall in their area. Some commenters stating, we have Novlet Ingrams 2034. Let me zoom this up. This is Novlet Ingrams 3438. So thing was doing a bit this morning, and the sub comes out, but no overcast. Have a blessed day with Weather Jamaica. Same to you, Novlet. We also have Aston Gooden 9920. Windy a lot since last night near Gale Force in Linstead. Novlet telling us that the weather was acting like that in Manchester or in Barton 5374, raining in Portmore, and Lawrence Davis 6195 stating, I love these satellite pics of the island. I love them too, and I love posting them. We also have, even on our Instagram page, some comments coming in. We have Edward Stanisha on our Instagram page stating, we got drizzling this morning in South Manchester around after 7, and right now the place is overcast, dark and ugly. Pantan Javon, Spanish Town, sunny. Let's see right here. They have Realm_JA getting rain in Portmore. God's Gift _Michelle, Mandeville overcast. Marlon_OneGod_ stating Clarendon hot. Bar_tab, Portmore is darkening up, hoping for a little drizzle. Let's see what was posted on our Facebook page. If it will actually load. Is it gonna load? Doesn't seem like it wants to load at all. Alright, here we go. Any comments to speak of? Not really. What about our Twitter page? Let's see what's happening over here. Alright, we got one comment right here from Brielle Patton stating rain in Mandeville 45 minutes ago. Alright, so that indeed confirms the rainfall that was predicted. And if we take a look at the very latest still image from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, well, not See Jamaica's YouTube channel, on the Weather Nerd side. The very latest still images showing 23:25 UTC, which is actually 6:25 p.m. So this just came out, what, 16 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:41 p.m. now. And we can still make out some milky white colors across eastern and some southern parishes right there. Some of these clouds could definitely have some rainfall within them. So let us see what the latest Cuban Doppler radar images are showing. The latest Cuban Doppler radar image just came out at 6:30 p.m. So that was 11 minutes ago. So I guess it's on time today, considering that it's 6:41 right now. And where do we see the rainfall? Right there to the southwest of the island in the greens, they represent moderate rainfall, as well as across sections of some eastern parishes. So we're talking about St. Thomas, section of Kingston, St. Andrew. I live in St. Thomas, and it's definitely wet outside in my area as we speak. Definitely gonna be a cool night tonight for sure. And even the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval or Military Radar is showing rainfall across eastern Jamaica too. We see the greens, we see the blues. That represents some light to moderate rainfall for sure across eastern Jamaica. If we take a look at the Cayman radar, let's reload these images so that we have the very latest. Excuse me. So we do see some sparkling are some sprinkles of rainfall to the southwest of the Cayman Islands. Nothing too drastic, nothing happening across western Jamaica right now. But if we take a look at the live camera showing Flatbridge, not much happening. Water not in spate or anything like that. People in their vehicles going about their business for sure. Nothing taking place in terms of bad weather as we speak. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can still have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should have down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for 18 on Monday. When calculated, that's 1 p.m. on Monday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some orange colors, or is that some gold colors? Either way, that looks like up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, boy. Temperatures are ridiculous on this December. We know the normal temperatures for the December month are around 87 degrees Fahrenheit. 87 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated to Celsius is about 30.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. And temperatures could definitely be exacerbated, especially where maintenance outages are going to be taking place from the JPS, because we know that we won't have our fan or AC to cool us down if there's a power outage. And there's a planned power outage in Meadowvale housing scheme and Cayman site A and B in the parish of St. Catherine for Monday, December 9, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. So if you live in those areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in those areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way. Either way, we know that we're here to follow the tips to beat the heat. Always seek shade when outside, eat fresh, try eating cold food such as salads and fruits, rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak. Take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated. Put away the sugar drinks, drink water instead. If we take a look at the dry air map, we see that the dry air is definitely taking over the entire Atlantic from the main development region to the Gulf of Mexico. We know the dry air is represented by the yellows, the oranges, the reds that we see on the key on the bottom. Alright, dry air is definitely taking over, making way for less rainfall this week for sure. But in terms of the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we can definitely see the Saharan dust right here across the eastern to the central main development region, and we see some dark browns in there as well that could bring some very hazy skies to sections of the Cabo Verde Islands out here, not to mention raise some sinusitis issues, if not asthmatic issues for some persons. Hopefully it doesn't make it as far as the Caribbean. Here we see Jamaica right here enjoying clear skies for 2 p.m. on Monday. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see the highest waves should be to the south of Jamaica with the purples that represents all the way up to a 2.7 meter wave heights from the east. The waters around Jamaica to the north 1.8 meter wave heights, to the south of Jamaica 1.3 meter wave heights. And we know all of that is because of the winds. We see the winds coming in from the east. And we see the greens, especially across the eastern Caribbean, that's about 10 to 15, maybe even up to 20 knots. While we see some yellows in there. That's a 20 to 25 knots, maybe all the way up to 30 knots across the waters in and around Jamaica. So that explains the wave heights being so high. 21 knots right here to the south of us. Let's see to the north of us right there through the windward passage, 21 knots as well from the east northeast. So definitely some strong winds for sure. And regarding the close-up of Jamaica, we can see the flow even better. It looks more so of an east northeasterly kind of flow. And we also see that there's going to be the least amount of winds across the southern portion of the island. So it's going to be hotter those spots. And who knows, maybe we'll get some daytime heating rainfall, even although the models are not showing daytime heating rainfall at all, given the very dry air. But we'll see exactly what unfolds. Excuse me. And we see the upper level wind still coming in from the west across the island. So whatever takes place, if we get some thunderstorms, it's not going to favor the north or the south. Definitely going to be favoring most parishes if we get rainfall. But we see that the rainfall is definitely tapering off. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 7 a.m. on Monday. Euro is definitely robust with the dark blue colors represent rainfall, a high signal for rainfall across St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, spilling into St. Thomas. The GFS, something similar, but the signal for rainfall is definitely not so robust. We see some light shades of blues. So it could be just cloud cover more than anything else. And then we see that by the time we head into 3 p.m. on Monday, not much taking place. We see some dots of light shades of blues across the northeast. Nothing significant anywhere else. It's looking like it's going to be a sunny day for the most part, if not a partly cloudy day. And we see that there's some rainfall right there to the far southeast of the island. We see some blues right there to the south of St. Thomas. And we see that on both the Euro and the GFS malls. But regarding the accumulated precipitation forecast, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday, and clearly most of this rainfall is happening as we speak, based on what we are seeing on the latest infrared and the latest Doppler radar. It's definitely happening as we speak, so I don't think that it's a lot more to come. We see the yellows into the oranges, into the reds. That represents close to 1 inch of rainfall on both the Euro and the GFS malls. This is basically the rainfall wrapping up for a drier than normal week. Then this pattern returns next weekend. And we see that in terms of the usual rainfall for the month of December, Kingston usually receives up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. That's 1 inch. Montego Bay usually receives close to 4 inches. That's almost 100 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives throughout the year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com. And you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts the rainfall from inches to millimeters that we receive on the rain gauge. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rain. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have some low-level patches of clouds. Some mini troughs in there pushing from east to west across the eastern Caribbean. Some of these clouds definitely have some rainfall within them. We see some clouds still bring some overcast skies and showers to section of eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas, northern Hispaniola for sure, associated with this cold front and the trough that has induced into portion of the greater Antilles. Excuse me. And we see some moisture coming into portion of Central America for sure. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what's happening over there. Will it load for me? It doesn't seem like it wants to load at all. But let us take a look at the Barbados radar. We see some sprinkles of rainfall coming in from the east. Definitely some rainfall affecting Barbados as we speak, with more to come. We also see some rainfall to the east of Martinique, some rainfall to the southeast of Dominica, some of it coming onshore across southern Dominica. We see some rainfall to the east of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, definitely getting in on some of the isolated shore activity. Maybe even a section of Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago could definitely get in on the mix as well. Let us take a look at the northeastern Caribbean. Let's see what's happening right now. Ooh, we see a lot of rainfall to the north of Puerto Rico, to the west of Puerto Rico. Some rainfall definitely affecting southern Puerto Rico as we speak. The water is to the north of the British Virgin Islands. Let us load these images from about 12:55 p.m. Definitely saw some rainfall across eastern, central, and western Puerto Rico for sure. And we see most of the rainfall pushing from east, southeast to west and northwest as well. And if we take a look at the weather via Doppler radar images, we can see the rainfall passing to the north of the ABC Islands from east to west associated with that trough. and we're not seeing much of anything anywhere else. Just some sprinkles across Belize as we speak. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, we can see this map from the year and this map from the GFS showing all the rainfall that's expected from now until 10 p.m. on Monday. And clearly, eastern Cuba could get in on some of the action, so too southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, northern Haiti, northern Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, section of Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique. We're talking about the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana. And we see there's consensus on both the year and the GFS models. We also see the ABC Islands, coastal areas of Venezuela, western Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, southern Belize, northeastern Guatemala getting in on the mix as well. And we see that both maps are showing agreement. I know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.